I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
As Trump hits pause on Iran, Netanyahu braces for a fight that might exist only in his fears. Israel scrambles to fortify its skies, while Tehran rallies its proxies for the next big showdown. Surrounded on all sides, Israel confronts the one threat it's long dreaded, a war from every direction. Tensions across the Middle East have surged once again, as the prospect of a full-scale U.S Iran war continues to loom on the horizon. According to Israeli broadcaster Kan, Israel's defense establishment is now preparing for a scenario in which Iran might strike first. However, Kan offered no clear explanation or sourcing to justify why such a scenario was being considered, as noted by the Times of Israel. Israeli officials, meanwhile, have repeatedly warned that any attack on their territory would trigger a swift and overwhelming retaliation. The simulations and planning come as the U.S. continues to bolster its regional presence, deploying more aircraft and naval assets near Iran. In response, Israel reportedly raised its nationwide alert levels, reinforcing air defenses and readiness across key military and civilian installations. Preparations are said to include updates to Israel's strike plans, intensified intelligence operations, and heightened readiness from the Home Front Command. Kan described Israel's current state of preparedness as nearly identical to the tense period ahead of the June 2025 war with Iran. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has instructed the Home Front Command to prepare for a potential war scenario amid rising regional uncertainty. Sources say a major meeting of Israel's Security Cabinet was postponed as tensions between the United States and Iran continue to escalate. In a public statement, Israel emphasized that while it still favors diplomacy, it stands fully prepared to respond forcefully to any threat. Officials in Jerusalem are closely monitoring Hezbollah's movements, concerned that Tehran's allies in Lebanon could be drawn into a wider conflict. Meanwhile, Hamas has declared that if war breaks out between Iran and the United States, it too would take part in the fight.
Our forces are surrounding the Strip from all sides. You are there, you know. According to the war objectives we set, Hamas will be disarmed and Gaza will be demilitarized. And we agreed with our friends in the United States that there will be no reconstruction of the Strip before demilitarization of the Strip. And very soon, Hamas will face a dilemma, to disarm the easy way or to disarm from its weapons the hard way. But here's another thing I promise you. It will be disarmed and will no longer threaten Israel. Buffer zones or demilitarized areas several kilometers wide along the country's borders are a necessity to ensure security, reduce the risk of ground invasion, and we insist on this. Along all this while the IDF remains in the buffer zones, both in Lebanon and in Syria.
Iranian media reports claim Tehran has been pressuring the militant group Hezbollah to join any future war with Israel. The report first appeared on Israeli outlet Ynet, which did not cite any specific sources to back the allegation. During Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi's recent visit to Lebanon, he reportedly sought assurances that Hezbollah would not stay on the sidelines in the next conflict. Over the past year, Iranian financial aid to Hezbollah has reportedly surged to more than $1 billion, despite Iran's own economic struggles. According to Ynet, Israel has delivered stark warnings to Hezbollah about the consequences of joining any Iranian-led war. Israeli defense officials have indicated that any Hezbollah intervention would trigger a severe and immediate military response. In anticipation of possible escalation, the IDF has reportedly raised its readiness along the Lebanese border and updated its war plans against Hezbollah. Meanwhile, Hezbollah has openly rejected the Lebanese government's new disarmament timetable, dismissing it as a move that serves Israeli interests. The group has stated it will not accept any plan it believes advances Israel's goals, signaling its intent to keep its weapons and influence intact. On February 20th, President Trump warned Iran it has just 10 to 15 days to accept his nuclear terms, or face bad things.
On Iran, bad things will happen if Iran doesn't make
really bad things.
What will that?
I'm not going to talk to you about that.
What is the goal if there is a U.S. military
Well, we're
strike?
going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other.
But with a military strike, is it to wipe out their nuclear program?
I'm not going to talk to you about that, but we're either going to get a deal, or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
And you said today 10 days. Have you given them a deadline firm to make a deal?
I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
Remember, Iran and the United States have already held 2 rounds of nuclear talks, but both ended without any final agreement. Trump's position is that Iran must give up uranium enrichment entirely and ultimately abandon its nuclear program. Tehran has signaled it is willing to discuss limits on enrichment, but only in exchange for substantial relief from U.S. sanctions. According to a report highlighted by CBS News, Washington has also indicated it would back Israeli strikes on Iran's missile or nuclear infrastructure if the talks collapse.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.